Have you ever finished a beautiful design in Procreate and wondered how to make it truly stand out? Today I'm going to share my secret weapon for this, mockups. So think of mockups as ready-made scene templates that instantly showcase your design in real-world settings without the need for professional photography or even printing out your work. So I'll show you the best sources to find both free and premium mockups, perfect for displaying your art on coffee mugs, framed pictures, clothing, iPad or phone screens, and lots more. Whether these mockups come as layered Photoshop files or flat PNGs, I'm going to take you through how to easily use them right on your iPad with Procreate. There are plenty of great places online to find high quality mockups, and I'll be sharing my full list of go-to resources in just a bit. But my first stop is always Unsplash. It's a fantastic option because all the images are free to use for both personal and professional projects, plus you can modify them however you like. The main downside though is Unsplash images are all flat JPEG files, meaning there's no option for a layered PSD version. But don't worry, I'll show you how to work with both flat and layered mockups today. To find mockups on Unsplash, just search for mockup and then tap the filter button and choose free. This will show you images that you can download instantly without needing an account or subscription. I really like this one, so I'm going to save it to my iPad. Now let's add your artwork to the mockup. First, we're going to go over how to do this with a flat image, and later I'm going to show you how to work with layered files. So import your mockup file into Procreate. You can go to your Photos app, tap on the share icon and choose Procreate from the list. If you don't see it, just tap for more and add it from the menu. And next, insert your artwork into the file. If it's saved externally in the cloud like Dropbox, iCloud, etc., go to the Actions menu, and under the Add panel, you can tap Insert File and select it. Or if it's saved on your Photos app, you just tap Insert Photo and choose the image. Now I have this black lettering on a white background, and this is a simple example to start with, but don't worry, we're going to cover different scenarios throughout the video, including working with colored backgrounds and other tricky situations. Right now the lettering doesn't look very realistic on the mockup just yet, so to fix that we're going to use a quick blending trick. Tap the small N icon on your design layer's thumbnail, and this opens the blending mode menu. You can scroll up until you see multiply and choose that one. So this instantly knocks out the white background, leaving just the lettering, making it look as if it's part of the mock-up. That already looks better, but there's one issue. Some of the leaves are overlapping the lettering and we need to make it look like they're in front. So to fix this, we're going to use a layer mask. Tap your lettering layer's thumbnail and select mask. A new white mask layer appears above your lettering, and this is where we'll start to hide parts of the design without permanently erasing anything. A good rule to remember with masking is white reveals and black conceals. This means painting with white will show parts of the layer, whereas painting with black will hide them. So we want to make sure we're selecting pure black. A quick way to do this is to tap the color circle and then go to the disk view down the bottom here, and then double tap the bottom black area of the disk. This will snap to a true black. Make sure your mask layer is active, and now you can paint over the areas where the leaves should overlap the lettering. This hides those parts of the text, making it look as if the leaves are in front. If you're having trouble seeing where to mask, you can always temporarily lower the opacity of your lettering layer, just tapping the N icon on the thumbnail layer and then slide the opacity slider down to reduce visibility. When you're done masking, bring the opacity back up to 100%. This looks great, but what if you're using a mock-up with a curved surface? So for example, I found this beautiful image of a perfume bottle surrounded by flowers on Unsplash. Yet another reason why Unsplash is such a great resource. You get these stunning photos without the need to set up your own photo shoot or buy any props. So by the way, all the photos and resources I'm using today are linked in the description below. Now I want to import my artwork as a flattened layer, just like before, but this time my design isn't exported yet, it's still in a Procreate document with layers. So instead of saving it as a PNG or JPEG, here's a quick shortcut. Open the artwork in Procreate, go to the Actions menu from the wrench icon, under the Add tab, tap on Copy Canvas. This instantly copies everything visible on on your canvas as a single layer without the need to export. Now you can return to your perfume bottle mock-up and use a 3-finger swipe down on the screen and tap paste. Now we just need to adjust it to fit the bottle properly. So tap the move tool, which is the arrow icon. Make sure that uniform is selected in the bottom properties here so that the proportions will stay correct. And now you can drag the blue handles and resize the design until it fits neatly on the bottle. Next, we'll open the blend modes again, and just like before, we're going to tap the N icon on the thumbnail and scroll up until we see multiply. This blends the design into the label, making it look more natural. And that looks good in terms of placement, but since the bottle is round, we need to make the design look more realistic by curving it this time. So select your move tool again, which is the arrow, switch from the uniform setting to warp, and you'll see that a grid overlay will appear, allowing you to adjust different sections of the design independently. You can gently manipulate the shape so it follows the curve of the bottle. Take your time with this. Subtle adjustments will make it look more realistic, but be careful not to overly distort the design too much. If you want to take this further, you can even add a brand name for extra detail in the bottom. Just create it as text or a new lettering layer, and then reduce the opacity slightly. Set the blend mode to multiply to integrate it with the label, and apply a slight warp again just to match the bottle's curvature. So far we've been working with simple shapes and white backgrounds, making it easier to use the flat mock-ups without layers. But what if you're dealing with more complex backgrounds or layered PSD mock-ups? That's what we'll tackle next. Hey there, it's Nicole. If you're enjoying this and feeling inspired to create beautiful calligraphy on your iPad, I'd love to invite you to my free workshop. It's a 1-hour training where I'll show you exactly how to write stunning calligraphy, even if your handwriting's a little messy or you're brand new to digital lettering. So in this workshop, you'll learn how to get smooth, professional strokes on your iPad, express your ideas confidently in Procreate, and skip hours of guesswork with a clear action plan to get started. So if you're ready to become the Procreate artist you inspire to be, head over to ipadcalligraphy.com/workshop to sign up. See you there. Now we're going to step up the complexity a little bit. Instead of using a simple flat mock-up, we'll take this tote bag on a white background and transform it into a designer tote against a brick background. And like before, this is a flat image, but this time our design has a colored background and we need to follow the shape of the bag. Since the bag has an irregular shape, we'll need it as a separate layer to use masking to reveal the design properly. So first, make sure your tote bag is saved to your Photos app. And here's why. Apple's latest software includes a fantastic cutout tool that lets you instantly remove objects from their background. So if you open the tote image in your Photos app, you just press and hold on the bag area and you'll see a subtle white glow. This means that the object is detected and it's ready to be separated. You have two options here. You can drag and drop the cutout directly into Procreate, or you can just tap copy and switch to Procreate, do a 3-finger swipe down on the canvas and tap paste. And now we have the separate cutout tote bag. We need to align it perfectly with the original image, lower the opacity of the new tote bag layer, just tap the N icon and adjust the opacity slider. Next, grab the move tool, which is that arrow icon, and make sure uniform is selected. Carefully scale and position the tote bag so it matches perfectly with the original version underneath. Apple does a pretty good job, but you might want to apply a layer mask and clean up a bit of the excess edges that were part of the selection, which will give you a sharper look. So far, our mock-ups have been simple cut and paste jobs, but because the tote bag has an irregular shape, we need to take an extra step to make it look more realistic. So now it's time to import the design file. This time, instead of a regular mask, we're going to use clipping mask. And the advantage of a clipping mask is that it allows us to freely move the design inside the shape of the bag. So to do this, tap on the design layer and then select clipping mask, and this locks the design into the shape of the bag. To make the design look more natural, we'll adjust those blending modes again. But since the bag is black, this time multiply blend mode won't work. Divide creates a cool effect, but if you want to keep those original colors of your design, try the add blend mode. You might notice though with add that the bag loses some of the texture. So to fix this, just duplicate the tote bag layer, and with that duplicated layer, just change the blend mode to pin light. This helps bring back some of the bag's original texture texture and fabric fold details. Sometimes it's just a matter of experimenting with blend mode since they interact with each other in different ways. Notice that there's a small brand tag on the bag. To keep this visible, just add a mask to the artwork layer and then paint black over the tag area to hide that part of the design, which will allow the tag to show through clearly. These little details add a lot of realism, so they're worth making that extra effort for. As for adding the brick background, I found one on Unsplash again, and you can just download and import the image into your file. Make sure that the bricks are behind the tote bag and the hand layer so it appears in the background. And there you have it, an awesome promo photo for your new design. This method gives you complete flexibility to adjust your artwork while keeping the mock-up looking natural and professional. Before we wrap up, and don't worry, I'm about to share my full list of mock-up resources with you very soon, but first I just want to tell you about an awesome mock-up website I recently discovered that offers really unique photography. So the website's called Create, and it really stands out when it comes to high quality mock-ups. Their fabric product selection is especially impressive with realistic textures and beautifully styled photography. You can use the menu on the left to filter different mock-up categories. They offer a really great selection of freebies as well, which are definitely worth checking out. So the mock-ups on Create are provided as PSD files this time, which means that they're designed specifically for Photoshop. While Procreate can open PSD files, there are a few Photoshop features that Procreate doesn't fully support, such as Smart Objects, which allows for non-destructive editing, and some clipping masks may not work as expected as well. Ideally, these mock-ups are intended for Photoshop, but with a few workarounds, we can still use them effectively in Procreate. To test this out, I downloaded their mug mock-up freebie and gave it a try. Let's have a look at how it turned out. If you've never worked with mock-up files before, the layers look a bit overwhelming when you open the file at first, but don't worry, these tend to follow a similar structure, and as long as you read the labels, you'll get the hang of it very quickly. This first group here is labeled Overlay Layers Don't Edit, so that's not likely where we're going to place our design. Instead, I can see a layer labeled Design, which sounds more like what we need. So select the design layer to make it active, paste your artwork. I've already copied mine to the clipboard, so I'll just use a 3-finger swipe to paste it into the canvas. And now we're going to scale the artwork to fit the masked shape. Use the warp tool to slightly curve the edges so that it follows the shape of the mug for a realistic look. That's already working really well, but let's take it a step further. Looking through the layers, I can see a few labeled Color Rim and Color Inside. These refer to the rim and the interior of the mug, and they both have layer masks attached. This suggests that the color layer beneath them is the one we need to modify, so let's test that out. Tap on the color layer. With your color set in the color circle, I'm choosing the same as my background. Just tap on the layer and choose Fill Layer. Okay, whoops, the whole mug just filled with the color, which isn't what we want. This is a good example of where Photoshop's layer masks don't always translate perfectly in Procreate. But no worries, we can fix this with a simple workaround. I'm going to undo that now and just select the S icon, which is the selection tool, and in the bottom context menu, choose Rectangle. Draw a rectangle area to select just the handle up to where it attaches to the mug, so we don't cover that main design, and then do the same again and just tap Fill Layer so that we can fill that selected area with color. This works perfectly. We can still see the shading and the highlights from the mock-up, making the handle look super realistic, and we have that colored now. And the customization is complete. So how did the Procreate version turn out? Let's compare it with the Photoshop version side by side. That's pretty good, right? While Photoshop might have been slightly faster and easier due to its built-in smart objects, Procreate still handled the job really well with just a few extra steps. But more importantly, you can see how versatile these mock-up templates are. Even if you're working with flat images, you now have all the tools to seamlessly integrate your designs into a scene, making it look just like a real product photo shoot. And as promised, here's my entire list of great places to find mock-ups. You can screenshot it now if you like, or check out the links in the description below. Now that you've got a stunning mock-up to showcase your design, let's make sure that the artwork is actually print ready. So in this next video that's shown on your screen right now, I'm going to walk you through the 3 essential settings that you must get right when you're creating a new canvas in Procreate so your designs look just as good on paper as they do on screen. I'll see you there.